Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. What's the story?
So I have the Edo State story. So according to the Secretary to the State Government of Edo State, Joseph Eboigbe, who is also the head of the transition panel set up by the governor in July, he wrote a letter to the governor-elect on October 10th, informing him of a supposed October 14th today meeting on the transition. Yeah, so they're supposed to have this proposed October 14th meeting where things will be done. In the letter, it read that they are looking, as they prepare for transition, they believe it's crucial to have a smooth handing over, and they expect that he will put together his own transition team so that they can easily inform and transfer details. But I don't know, the story did not carry the reply of the governor-elect, whether there's a team. This team by Governor Baseki is a 20-member inaugurated transition committee team. So we're looking to hear the other side. We know here. But the meeting
that they're being on serious. That they say, the meeting is tomorrow, Tuesday. Is that tomorrow?
No, 14th.
14th. Oh.
So the letter is October 10th. So now last week, the right time. We'll see whether the meeting holds today and see the number of members.
Yes,
October 14th.
This is 14th.
14th is today. Yes. So see the number of people that will come.
Okay. Right. I've got the federal government through the Nigerian Customs Service will Monday, that's today, ground over 60 private jets owned by very important persons in the country over unpaid import duty running into several billions of naira.
Imagine that.
They said that from the reports are saying duties are not being paid on majority of private jets currently in the country, and NCS, that's the Customs Service, is seeking, how to recover these unpaid import duties. They said that a few of them have already received notification of the grounding of their aircraft. No fewer than 55 other operators will get their letters today. And, they named all the different types of jets. What do we know? Regular us, But, for me, I was curious as to how they were able to get away with not paying import duties that ran into such an amount. But they said that there's this, that they've explored, that most of them explored these technical loopholes in regulations to fraudulently obtain what is called a temporary import permit. So this allows for you to, for a period of 12 months, you're able to have like a stay, before you start paying the duties. But Nigerians have found a way to extend this by, and then you get that 12 months, then you can extend it by 6 months twice. But Nigerians have found a way to extend it indefinitely. So, of course, yeah.
Interesting. I had a dream about being in a private jet. So this night, I woke up thinking now somebody.
Not blown, ma'am. Not blown.
So how coincidental. Anyway, former President Obasanjo was yesterday at Methodist Church in Abuja. He was there to celebrate with the Archdiocese of Abuja. He was celebrating his 40th year in ministry, and he was saying that God's plan for Nigeria was never of struggle economically. Noting that the country is blessed with abundant resources. He said specifically that Nigeria, he said, just as Egypt has River Nile, Nigeria has River Benue and Niger, plus crude oil, fertile oil, and other natural resources. I believe that God didn't plan for Nigeria to be economic, to have these problems. God created Nigeria for abundance, and that our leaders must do what they can to ensure that Nigerians reap the fruits of our natural resources. Paraphrasing.
Okay.
Moving on now to Vanguard. Petrol crisis, FG resolves NNPCL marketers dispute. Price of bread rising faster than inflation rate. DSS releases 2 #end bad governance protesters in Kaduna. VC's appointment sparks row in University of Abuja. National Assembly considering raising VAT to 10% by 2025, says document. Edo government writes Akwa-Ibom APC on formation of transition team, and Olu of Warri urges Africans to break free from mental limitations. Okay.
So the Department of State Services, DSS, this weekend released 2 end bad governance protesters who have been in detention in Kaduna. According to the Vanguard, they said the security agency was still processing other detainees. As at press time, they said there were no fewer than 125 protesters still in detention, including 38 remanded by Justice Emeka Nwite in Abuja. They also found that 38 detained protesters will appear before Justice Nwite for further hearing on their bail. The 125 detained protesters have been in custody now for over 62 days. And meanwhile, Mr. Deji Adeyanju, which is the counsel to the protesters, in a chat yesterday expressed concerns over the lack of transparency in the judicial process. And according to him, he said authorities claimed to have filed charges, but our team has yet to receive any of the documents. He said the development highlights the inconsistencies in handling of protest-related cases nationwide, though most of the 873 protesters arrested in Kano have been released due to collaborative efforts by the Nigerian Bar Association, that's the NBA. So he said that efforts are ongoing in Sokoto, as 2 protesters have been released in the Northwest region. Nationwide, over 1,000 protesters were arrested. They've been going back and forth. Some are being released. And so they are hoping that the rest will be released and praying that the judicial process will be transparent enough for everyone to see.
Okay, so I have the bread story. According to the operators in the bread industry, bakers, one of the key indicators to why the price of bread continues to grow is that Nigeria produces less than 1% of its wheat need, indicating that the local supply quantity is decreasing despite the 2 decades that they've been operating backwards. And this, of course, makes them rely more on imported wheat. Of course, means that the prices of flour continue to go up. And they have said that they were saying to financial Vanguard that they will continue to push the cost of it to consumers, hence the increase in bread. Vanguard on its own went out and found bread between 2,500 for large sizes and about 1,500, and the predicting increase in prices. I have not experienced any recent increase, and I hope it remains that way.
I have the Olu of Warri, Ogiame Atuwashe III, has urged Africans to break free from mental limitations and unlock the continent's vast potentials. This was at the King's Banquet in Abuja. He emphasized the need for unity and collaboration among African countries to overcome historical injustices and drive economic growth. He highlighted all the advantages that Africa has: natural resources, geographical location, and then he urged leaders to harness these blessings for development. He also talked about the women, that we need to elevate and empower women. God has given them tremendous birthing power. As African men, we should not only tap into this creativity and strength, but also encourage, support, and elevate. So this, there are other dignitaries at the event as well who, echoed the same sentiments as the Olu of Warri. So it was just interesting. He is one monarch that I find quite interesting to see. He carries himself with such grace and dignity. And also his Olori, is that what she's called? The wife of the Olu. Yes.
Okay, moving on to New Telegraph. Confusion as 9 PDP governors reportedly endorsed Damagum's suspension. Nigeria not ballots for UN Human Rights Council post presidency. Sunday Igboho seeks UK Prime Minister support for Yoruba Nation. Chronic stress increases colorectal cancer progression, says study. Obasanjo, I believe God didn't create Nigeria for struggle. Senate threatens Umahi Dabiri, others with arrest. And Treasury bills. CBN's reform boosts foreign investors' stake by $2.68 billion.
Okay, so I have Igbo. And on behalf of the Yoruba people, he wrote a petition to the UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. Is, of course, asking for his support for the establishment of Yoruba Nation. This is what the New Telegraph believes is in his letter. His spokesperson, Olayomi Koiki, also tweeted that they submitted this petition on behalf of the leader of the Yoruba Nation, Adebanji Akintoye, the leader of the Yoruba Nation movement, Adebanji Akintoye. So Yoruba people should decide when they did the elections. But now they've submitted it. I don't know whether they should come and recolonize us, but they've submitted it to the UK Prime Minister. Let's see.
So I have this story, which is interesting because over the weekend there was this story that we were snubbed during the recent election of the United Nations Human Rights Council elections. But the presidency is clarifying that Nigeria was not on the ballot for the United Nations Human Rights Council election held October 13th. The 18 members were elected they are elected to serve the council between 2025 and 2027. It said that Nigeria had been erroneously added, to the list, maybe, and that there's no competition in Africa. Those who were members are still the same African countries that were fielded for the same position. So Nigeria was not snubbed at this election, as reports have falsely claimed. The country did not stand as a candidate for this cycle of election, just like it did not stand for the election in 2023, when a Nigerian medium sensationally reported that the country earned 3 votes. So please, this is the clarification.
I have a very interesting issue going on in University of Abuja concerning the appointment of the Vice Chancellor. I don't know if you guys heard about the story. So according to the story here, the new Vice Chancellor was supposed to be replacing Professor Abdul Rashid Nala. He, according to the report, or the governing council, had elected Aisha Maikode, who is just 41 years old. And they're saying that she doesn't have the requisite experience and age and enough experience to be the vice chancellor of an entire university. Wow. Of course, so some are saying that there's a faction trying to handpick her. The spokesperson is saying that, no, there was an application sent out. People actually, they collated, they applied. And yes, it's being considered. But there are some people saying that she has been handpicked to be the person taken because, according to the professor who left, he was one that actually brought her forward to assist it, to be the academic, I think the deputy vice chancellor for academics. Okay. So he picked her then. When he was now leaving, he's now trying to get the governing council to make her the VC. So there's drama going on.
There's Godfather.
They are watching.
There's Godfather in the academics.
We'll see.
Everywhere, even in church.
Everywhere. God, thank you.
Everywhere.
We'll see how that goes. That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, once our next segment, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.